Hey everybody, well, it looks like it's going to be that kind of night. And I say it's going to be that kind of night because this is the night that Raider fans, well, okay, I gave up. I gave up because I don't know how you felt, Rick Rice. Thank you for joining. But I just believe that, well, it's already, it's marked final, okay? It's final. The Denver Broncos lost a game they really should have won. Kind of sound familiar. Kind of like the Raiders. Losing a game they should have won. And they lost to the Kansas City Chiefs, who arguably now are in the driver's seat for AFC West supremacy, 29-19. 29-19. Even though, this happened to the Raiders. Even though, and I say again, even though the Broncos gained more yards than the Chiefs. What happened to the Broncos? Well, turnovers, man. That's right. They turned the ball over. They turned the ball over. And I repeat, again, they turned the ball over. Sound familiar to what plagued our Raiders, right? 4 turnovers for the Raiders, 2 interceptions and 2 fumbles. The Chiefs had, boy, they had their share. They had 2 fumbles, which is enough. They had 2 fumbles, and then and Damian Simeon added, get this, not 1, not 2, but 3 interceptions. So the Broncos had 5 turnovers. 5 turnovers. I say again, Broncos had 5 turnovers, man. 5 turnovers. Just when you depend on Denver to win, they let you down and lose. It's just like the Broncos. You know, the Broncos really have to screw with us Raiders fans, don't they? That's why we hate the Broncos. We can never get the Broncos to do what we want them to do. We want them to do it. When we want them to lose against us, they beat us. We want them to win for us, they lose. The Broncos suck, man. I'm tired of the Broncos. Yeah, I said that, doggone it. Even though Paxton Lynch, one of my favorite quarterbacks, is, well, he's not playing. Even though they had one of the great offensive starts in Bronco history, which kind of fizzled. Even though they had Sean Ray, well, he got injured in training camp and just returned this game, but he really didn't do much. Kind of hard to overcome 5 turnovers. So this means, you do know what this means, it's final, okay? This means we have to basically look down the barrel at the Chiefs. That's right, the Chiefs. That's right, I said it. We have to basically say, do I have to do that? Do I really have to do that? They are 6-2. Do I have to do that annoying, is that politically correct to do? Thousands of people in the stadium are doing it. Has anyone complained? That thing, you know, it sounds like they just about to lose their lunch. It does. It sounds like that. I don't even want to do it. It sounds that stupid, you know? I mean, who goes to a game and does that? Okay, you got Florida State fans, right? You got Arrowhead. You have Chiefs fans. Whereas one of my viewers called them the Chefs. I love that. We beat the Chefs. Actually, I think the Chefs are a better name for Kansas City than the Chiefs. I just, you know what? I can't. That's as bad as Braves on the warpath. Fight for the Braves on the warpath. That's awful. I mean, no wonder the Cree want to fight, man. Jeez. Oh, and thank you for reminding me about the Atlanta Braves. You know, and I'm in Atlanta Braves country. When I went to the playoffs games, Braves versus the Giants years ago, to my friend Emily Ittner, I rooted for, drum roll, the Giants. There's no freaking way I was rooting for the Braves. No, I'm sorry. But I digress, all right? We're talking about the Broncos and the fact that they dropped it to the Kansas City Chiefs. And so the Broncos dropped it like it was hot, literally, because they couldn't hold on to the ball. They are 3-4. So basically, they're equal with us, the Raiders. The Raiders are 3-4. The Broncos are 3-4. So maybe this is a good thing for our wild card hopes, right? That's what we're going to discuss today. Are the Raiders still in the hunt? I mean, are they? Are the Raiders still in the hunt? I'm looking for your comments on this, and your thumbs up, by the way. But I'm asking, are the Raiders still in the hunt? Are they? They've got, okay. I'm wondering. G. Taylor says no. Barry Lee says, what happened to Godfather Grizz? He is coming on Thursday. Godfather Grizz has a weird schedule. So I am making do. But Melvin Lovejoy, how you doing, Mr. Lovejoy, says, I don't see it with that offense. Okay. And Joseph Jones says, no, unfortunately, Zenny, are we playing taps? Are we playing taps? I'm playing taps for the Raiders. Is that what I should be doing? Just asking. And so then they could text us, I wanted Broncos to lose. Raiders can be a wild card. If Raiders win 7 or 8 game streak, never say never. And I agree, never say never, although I'm kind of wanting to say never. But yeah, you're right. Never say never, all right? And, you know, okay, Joseph Jones says, unfortunately, he's trying to hold. Barry Lee is like, you know, where are you, Barry Lee? Alex Flores, if you're wondering why I'm looking down, looking at this is what I'm looking at, folks, when I look down. Just to let you all know that when I'm not tooting my horn, as I was doing, this is what I was looking at, okay? I was looking at your comments here. Alex Flores says, are the Raiders still in the hunt? Laugh out loud. Joseph Jones reminding me of the Braves. This was our previous segment of the conversation when I was ranting on about those annoying chants based on Indian culture that you should be really pissed off about. You know, I mean, how does anybody have a chant like, you know, for example, I sang the Cal Drinking song and I would say, here's to the Irish, get drunk, and someone would get mad at me. But no one gets equally mad when people go out and do that ho stuff, right? I mean, that ho, you know what I mean? Like, oh, come on. You know, I mean, it's so annoying. It's like, oh, geez Louise. You know, people who do that, people who are like from Barstool Sports do that sort of thing. Yeah, I said it. I took a dig at Barstool Sports. Why did I take a dig at Barstool Sports? Because ESPN, which is the real enemy here regarding all things NFL, and what I mean by that is this: ESPN sits back, pays a ton of money to the NFL, and then watches as the NFL gets into these cultural issues without doing anything to straighten it out. They just sit back, use the NFL chaos as, you know, media content, make money off of it, keep getting more money and keep going. And then poor folks like Bob McNair get blamed for things. ESPN writes about it, talks about it, makes a conversation about it, makes more money off of it, gives the NFL some more money, keeps the NFL going on that track, and everybody thinks there's something wrong in the NFL, and there is not. And then ESPN gets away with all this stuff. Blah, give me YouTube TV. I'm tired of this crap. Ugh. You say, what's gotten into me? Coffee! But, all right. Okay. Brandon Johnson asked, can we talk about Trump tonight? Not exclusively, because I want to talk about this game. You know why? I'll tell you why. Because I talked about Trump for most of the day on Livestream. Got up this morning to talk about Trump. I want to talk about sports, okay? Maybe I'll have another segment to do that at some time, but the other reason I don't want to talk about Trump right now is because I want to talk about football. I want to talk about the NFL, all right? That's why. And I want to, okay, all right? Let me take a poll here. By a show of, okay, if you want to talk about Trump, give me a D. If you want to talk about football, give me an F. All right, 1, 2, 3, go. I'm waiting. And here's I say, F for me for football, all right? Robbie says D. I got another F. So far, the F's or D's F. Here's another F. Thank you. Here's a D. F's outnumbered D's. It's football. Everybody here is for football. Football, okay? And I'm gonna tell you why, okay? And Robbie it's the same guy clicking D all the time. It doesn't make any difference. We have, all right, it doesn't make any difference, all right? The simple fact of the matter is that F matters. But the reason why I don't want to talk about that right now is because, folks, I'm here to tell you it's just going to get worse, okay? That is just the tip of the iceberg if you've been following the case. It's just going to get worse. Now, back to football, because a lot happened today, quite literally out from under our collective noses. I mean, let's take a look. Okay, first of all, Jimmy Garoppolo was picked up by the 49ers, acquired from New Orleans. Okay, acquired from New England. Okay, I do that every time I make a bonehead mistake. Why? Bonehead, right there is that bone. Okay. That's why. It was a stupid thing. Bobby Shane says, no team in the NFL wants Kaepernick. I think I'm going to go out on a limb and say that I think the reason why Kaepernick is sitting isn't so much to do with the whole political stuff as this. I overheard Jed York. I think Jed York said to Fox that, and I want to ask Jed about this, that his asking price was too much. Okay? I mean, it does boggle the mind that the man is sitting out there. And you got to say, hey, look, someone has had to make an offer for him. And undoubtedly it wasn't for enough money. I mean, okay, what was the offer? I don't know. Was it the veteran minimum, which is, I think, $463,000 or something like that? Whatever it was, he didn't take it. Okay? So if he really wanted to test the waters politically, he could say, hey, look, I'll take anything you give me, veteran minimum up. Not fair? Of course it's not fair. But it's a test. It's a test. He hasn't put that out there. And I seriously doubt that he would do that. So Bobby Shane says, today is sports day. And Brandon John says, tonight's game was horrible. Why do you want to talk about that? Well, I don't want to talk about that game. What I want to talk about is the implications of that game, because it's an AFC West game. I mean, look, what is this? The Raiders. Okay, that's why. What are the implications of tonight's game? And can the Raiders come back? That's why. All right? And the Broncos, okay, the Broncos don't look so good, fine. But what I want to know is, let's play some... Let's play some hypotheticals here. NFL.com. NFL.com. All right, .com. Shoot. NFL. In fact, you know what? I'm going to open up two sites. First of all, I'm going to the NFL press site. Second, I'm going to go to the regular NFL site. My thoughts on Goodell possibly getting fired, I think it's really wrong. Because if you take a look at the people who are talking against him, they are the old guard of the NFL. You don't find the new guard of the NFL, like the Jed Yorks of the world, talking against Roger Goodell. So there's definitely a generation-ish gap issue here. Really is. And I think it speaks to a dangerous NFL future if the Jerry Joneses of the world get what they want. The owners should not always get what they want. And maybe Bob McNair, who said that he was actually alluding to, and I believe this, the idea that the league staff is guiding them and making decisions that without their input. I think that the owners sometimes should allow that, because those folks are paid to make decisions in the best interest of the investment that those owners have. And the owners, as we've seen time and again, maybe just a little bit, not quite entirely 1000% all the time cognizant of how rapidly society is changing, okay? I did say that. I said that. Yes, I said that. Hey, by the way, I'm just putting that out there. And I think that an argument can be made that the NFL staff is protecting them. Now, of course, they don't see it that way, but I do. And I really believe that, you you got like this flag issue or the domestic violence issue, okay? They've really stumbled all themselves a lot of times, and the owner's input hasn't always been the greatest. So I feel for Roger. All right, now, let's go over the transactions for today. This is a big day. I'm just going to do this for a second, then I'll come back to the discussion, all right? Mac Brown, running back of Florida, Minnesota got him. Terminations via the waiver wire. I'm looking down for the Raiders specifically. I just passed the Raiders here. I had Minnesota. Oakland got Elijah Hood, the running back from North Carolina. So that's a waiver request. So Elijah Hood has joined the Oakland Raiders today. And let's see if there are any more Raiders specific stuff here. All right, you've got practice squad, Raiders. Raiders, contract termination, Bryson Albright, no. Return to practice, Raiders. Oakland, Marshawn Lynch, suspension lifted by commissioner. So hold on a second, folks. Marshawn Lynch, suspension lifted by commissioner. Marshawn Lynch is back. It says it right here. Lynch, Marshawn. From reserve, suspended by commissioner, suspension lifted by commissioner. So Marshawn is back. Marshawn is back. Ta-da. So what other Raider news do we have? We have some deactivations by a number of teams. Let's go down to the Raiders and see what we've got going with deactivations. The Raiders report Oakland. Damon Emerson. Wow, listen to this, folks. Talk about your deactivations. There's a whole list of deactivations, folks. Hold on a second. I'm going to show you this list, okay? I'm going to show you this list, all right, of the deactivations, and then you'll watch your reaction because this is worth going over. These are deactivations. All are 1029, all right? These are deactivations. So here we go with this Oakland Raiders list of a huge list of deactivations. Here we go. All right. Boom. These are the deactivations right here. All right. There. Okay. All right. Cool. We've got Dave Emerson, Garion Conley, Connor Cook, Carl Joseph, Markel Lee, David Sharp, and Jayan Wayne. Okay. So there. Those are that's the list. That is the list of it says deactivations, all right? And you want to see that title? It's right here. Okay? See that? It says deactivations. All right? That's what it is, okay? So that's interesting. Now, all right. What else do we have here? Oh, okay. We've got what? Let's see here. Get rid of the Todd Down syndrome offense. 831 Scott says, I don't think Lynch is going to help them. He really hasn't been better than what the Raiders had last year. Now, that's a scheme issue, okay? And we've got Rick Rice is back to his fire Ken Norton thing, which has nothing to do with the problem. Crawford, how you doing, Crawford? Nice to see you. And Jark Max says, if Lynch was in the game, who wouldn't have had those fumbles? And Raiders should have had Patterson punt return. Yeah, Lynch would not have coughed up the ball like that. Brandon Johnson said, he's not good anymore. Tell him not to run on the field anymore. Well, he had to get some exercise sometime, some kind of way, okay? Melvin Lovejoy said, waived. He was on the practice squad with us. Got it. All right. Now, what else here? Oh, by the way, too bad Barry Lee isn't here when you need him. But, and by the way, how many people got the notifications? Did you get a notification? And Robbie asked how many games the Raiders have won, which is, Robbie, that is a rhetorical question you know the answer to. Why else would you ask that question? I'm concerned? No, I'm not really concerned. I'm just curious. Why would you answer that? Why would you ask that question? Why would you ask a question, why would you ask a question you know the answer to? Okay. Oh, you said how many will they win? I didn't see that. Okay. Wait a minute. Let me see that. Let me see something here, man. Okay. Now we got, oh, how many games will the Raiders win? You did ask that. Okay. Go CSU. How you doing? Hey, y'all. I just did a live stream with anybody. Well, you didn't tell us. So, Rick Rice says, Del Rio won't get fired. They'll just give him an extension. Well, if Del Rio doesn't get fired, then neither does Ken Norton. Let's see here. Now, Jun Games, how you doing? Welcome. And Rick Rice, you are the man. And so anyway, Dank Max Attack says, I like the 6th round safety, good hitter, but needs to be better in coverage. All right, how many games will the Raiders win? Let's explore that topic once I have put up this post on social media so that people can join in, as they say, yeah, partake in the festivities. Who came up with that term, partake in the festivities, that I sometimes use? Are there festivities to partake in? Are there, what is it? I mean, partake in the who? The what? What the heck does that mean? Festivities. And don't you just hate it when like social websites don't behave the way you want them to and they kind of like blink out like this? Man, oh man, oh man. Maybe so. I got a better idea. Ooh, let's see here. I'm gonna say Raiders live stream talk. Okay, and I'm gonna tag people, man. I'm gonna tag people, get them involved. Tag people and get them involved. Tag people and get them involved. Oh yeah. Oh, making it happen is what I'm doing. Yeah, that's right. Making it happen. Let's see here. Trying to get all these folks involved. That's right. Trying to say, hey, look, wake up and let's talk football. Or let's just talk sports or whatever, okay? That's what I'm talking about. All right. Put it out there. And so that is gone? Yeah, there it is. All right, now, if you're wondering what I'm doing, I'm tagging stuff on social media to bring more people in to talk, saying, hey, hashtag live stream. Now, you want to talk about something? All right. That I kind of don't want to talk about it now, but I want to mention it. I mean, I just have to say, how stupid is Kevin Spacey, okay? How freaking idiotic. Dude, you know what? You just blew, I mean, no pun intended, one of the best shows, political shows, ever developed for streaming media. Arguably the best. With, your, whatever his freaking mindset is. It's like, dude, just, find a nice lady and you get married and settle down and just stop all the foolishness. He's cost himself tons of money. What an idiot. What a freaking idiot, man. Oh, anyway, okay. Now, back to football. And I say that because I'm a big House of Cards fan. Both the original, made in the UK with Ian Richardson, and the current one. So I'm mad at Kevin Spacey. So anyway, yeah, I'm a huge Kevin Spacey fan too. But you know what? Wow. Anyway, Rick Rice says, Todd Downing doesn't have any creative plays calls. That's why Carr has to check everything down. Thank you for the moderation, Barry Lee. And thank you very much. Desmond Davis says, not if Carr is checking the ball down all game. Well, but here's the point, though. How many people saw Deshaun Watson's scintillating game against the equally scintillating Russell Wilson yesterday? I did. It was bombs away in that incredible game, all right? So if they can go bombs away in that game, okay, then how come the Raiders just can't throw a bomb and, to heck with the guy not being open, let your receivers make some plays. They did that against Kansas City when Amari Cooper had 210 yards receiving, right? And that was the previous week. Well, 10 days ago before that. What happened, okay? I mean, that's infuriating, okay? Joseph Jones says, do you think the Raiders should go after the rights to Megatron? No. I think, I don't. Carla Russo says, what do you think of the Zeke suspension? That's sad. For a fellow to start off in the NFL as a rookie and yet go through all of this crap is just tearfully sad. And all because there wasn't anybody there to say, Ezekiel, you know what? If you don't stop doing this right now, not like at some point in the future, but right now, we're going to put you on a timeout and we're going to make you stay at home without pay. I mean, he needed that kind of supervision. But what happened was Ezekiel got a lot of money, and then it was like away from home. It was the perfect combination of two things. Getting a big freaking job and getting away from home for the first time, you know, not including college. I mean, like, away, unless he's got money, he thinks like he's the man. And so he can hang out with whoever he wants to, but his self-esteem is still developing, right? And so he hangs around, he thinks that the women are going to, you know, come to him, all right? And they're going to, like, do this, right? And it doesn't happen like that, and he gets into trouble. And attracts the wrong woman. He attracts the wrong woman, and then he wants that woman for adulation rather than being a snob. Okay? At some point, you have to let the women come to you. I don't care how old you are. That's just a fact. Don't, especially if you have a lot of money and you're a football player, because you open yourself up to a lot of the wrong elements. You have to be extra careful. And I know that for a specific reason. How you doing, brah? Okay. What did Jamal ask? Barry Lee says, good question. Jamal Mills says, hello, coming on late. Did you say happened to Grizz? Oh, Grizz is working, so he wanted to do Thursday night. So I said, sure. As Rick Rice says, we don't need Megatron. Doc Matt says, Raiders need better offensive schemes. Bills D can read their defense. And so I answered the Zeke thing. Oh, but not entirely, okay? Here's the problem with Zeke Elliott is that, oh, by the way, World Series tomorrow night, okay? The problem with Ezekiel Elliott is the same, is very similar to Fred Lane. Now, you're going to say, who's Fred Lane? Fred Lane is my late cousin. And Fred Lane, if you follow any NFL football, if you pay attention, Fred Lane was drafted by the Carolina Panthers and then wound up playing for the Colts. But in 1994, he died. He died because his wife murdered him. And his wife lied about the murder and said that he was violent to her at home, which is a complete lie. A complete lie. And went to court on that. She wound up doing jail time. And then, I think she got off, I think, for good behavior or something like that. But then turned around and messed up her life once again by doing this. Robbing a bank. You heard what I said, okay? And my auntie Mary and the family told him, hey, look, stay away from her. She's not good for you. But, well, okay. There are many examples like that. That, sadly, is the most extreme. It really is. I talked to Fred a couple of times. We talked about getting together, and I will never have that opportunity back again. That is how I know. And that is why I talk the way that I do. That was some BS. All right? So I don't care how good-looking a woman is. I don't care how much she says she wants you. You make sure you check her out. And if there's something wrong, you got a lot of money, you're a football player, pew, exit stage right, pew, exit stage left. They will let them come to you. And then pick out the right one. Zeke didn't do that, all right? So anyway, let's see here. We've got Bob Rivers said, Fact or Fiction, Paxton Lynch starts next week. Fiction. Paxton Lynch will be back in 2 weeks, not next week. I got to call Lee Steinberg. Go CSU Rams says, Vance Joseph should have benched Simeon and played Brock Osweiler. Yeah, they went through all that trouble to get him back, and they didn't play him. I mean, you want to say that maybe it's because he didn't practice well, but on the other hand, he needs the time, you know? So there you go. Jamal Wills says, oh, I don't know, it's that kind of night. You know, 831's, hey, Rick Rice agrees. He says, haha, Zinni is the man, let the women come to you. But, I mean, Rick Rice, you have a wife, right? Okay? I mean, talk. Say, you know what's happening. You know what I'm talking about. Don't act like you don't. All right? You don't like the UK. All right? Come on, Rick Rice, don't avoid the question. All right? Don't avoid the question. All you all out there. Or as they say, all y'all out there. All y'all out there. Know what I'm talking about, all right? But no, and no one ever said, hey, you know, sorry for your loss. But Fred Lane was murdered by his wife. Okay? And that, so again, I don't know if some people are just stuck on stupid and they have to go through these things themselves, or they don't think through what I'm telling them. But I would love to talk to NFL rookies or players and say, you know what? This is what I've experienced, this is what I've seen, and this is what you need to do. And also, you need to stick up for each other. You need in a positive way. You stop reinforcing someone else's bad habits, is what I would say. All right? So, Rick Rice says, what's the question? The question is, shouldn't you be more discerning about the women you pick out and go out with? How did you meet your wife? Are you married? That's my question to you. Hey, Corvette, how you doing? All right? So, Rick, let's see here. Rick Rice, you didn't listen. I want you to pay attention. I talked about Fred Lane. This is what pisses me off sometime, all right? Because I talked about Fred Lane, who's my cousin, who was killed by his wife in '94. He was drafted by the Panthers, Carolina, set 4 records, was traded to the Colts, but his wife, Deidre, killed him, said it was domestic violence. It wasn't. Went to prison, and then, well, actually sort of beat that on a lie, which was later caught, but then she was caught robbing a bank. All right, now do you hear? Are you paying attention, Rick? Okay? All right? Instead of, like, you know, regurgitating the same stuff all over again, are you actually paying attention to what I'm trying to say to you? Okay? Jeez, man, all right? Hey, Michelle, how you doing? Richard says, Howard, sorry to hear that. Thank you, Richard, all right? Jamal Miller says, go live feed last night with turning World Series. Yeah, and so I want you to tell me, Rick Rice, how do you meet a woman, all right? Just be real for a change instead of being an asshole. I'm saying straight up. Okay? That's what I want you to be. Like others have been. What's your story? Okay? I'm tired of this. Yeah, I'm in that mood. I'm in that mood right now. So don't screw with me. Answer my question. All right? It's not that you agree with me. I'm glad you agree. But my point is, how did you, can't someone just be real for a second? How did you meet your significant other? I'm curious. Okay? How did you do it? Because this is at the root of what's going on with NFL football. I'm not talking about our exchange, but I'm saying what these players go through, like Ezekiel Elliott, all right? And we want to make these little comments. We don't want to just, for some particular reason, be real about these things and talk, all right? Let's see, this is what I'm talking about. This is a great example. Thank you. Rick Rice said he met his wife through a friend. See? See? That's what I'm talking about. Thank you. That's all I'm talking about. And so what happens, and see what's so cool about this, right, is that Rick Rice met his wife through a friend. And so what happens if things didn't check out, you can always go to the friend and say, hey, you know what? You didn't hook me up right. And so Rich Stewart says he met his lady through his sister. Jorge Hernandez said he met his old lady playing a softball team. See? That's it. That's what I'm talking about. By contrast, Ezekiel Elliott didn't meet his lady that way, okay? And a lot of NFL players don't. But there needs to be that kind of brethren that work for you, Rick Rice, and Jorge, and others, okay? In my case, you know, I met my girlfriends, you know, bar. I don't recommend meeting a woman at a bar. Sometimes it works, okay? Bar, gym, and see, in the case of Cal, well, it's Cal. So college is the best place. If you're in college, like the players, that's the best place to meet the person you're going to marry. Later in life, you know, friends. It really is, okay? Unless you get lucky, all right? And Go CSU says, thanks for the advice, because Go CSU is 17 years old. As they say, I'm just being real with you, all right? Jamal Miller says, I met mine in college, knew her for 15 years before marrying her. Right. See, this all has to do with Ezekiel Elliott. And I had the pleasure of meeting Ezekiel Elliott and interviewing him. In fact, here is that interview, all right? Give me one moment, and you'll see my interview with Ezekiel Elliott. And I showed this interview with Zeke for one reason, and one primary reason. I want you to tell me what you think about him, okay? And hold on a second. I'm just putting in the speaker system. I want you to tell me what you think about him, all right? I want you to tell me what you think about him, all right? Jorge Hernandez says, NFL players are famous. Tough to meet anybody honest when the fame attracts bad people. Right. This is Ezekiel Elliott, all right? Give me one moment. Elliott. Elliott. NFL, Zinni, 62. Boom. And, okay, there's a 6-game suspension. Videos. Ezekiel Elliott, Cowboys. First round pick. Here we go. Okay, all right. And I believe... here we go. This is my interview with Ezekiel Elliott. I got 2 bites of the apple with Ezekiel Elliott that day when he was drafted. Okay, this is the first bite. Okay, right here. This is the first bite with Mr. Elliott. Hold on a second. All right, let me put that on, and then turn this up. All right, let me put that on, and then turn this up. Hold on a second. Get rid of that. Hold on a second. Echo there. Get rid of that echo there. Turn this back to Elliott. Bring you all down here. And folks, I want you to meet Dallas Cowboys running back Ezekiel Elliott. Interviewed by me, Zinni Abraham, at the NFL Draft in Chicago right here. This is, boom, okay? I'm going to enlarge this like so. Boom, all right? And here we go.
Said that the Giants select you, you're going to send them to the Super Bowl, right?
I didn't promise that. I said that we could be a Super Bowl contender.
I thought that was a cool thing. Now, show my viewers what you're wearing, because you have like an unusual design, right?
You know, a suit designed by Pavion Unlimited.
Yep.
And this is just a color that popped out on me.
But it's a half shirt.
Oh, see, I had to add my own.
Let's see, man.
I'm the hero in the half shirt. I'm the hero in the half shirt, so I had to.
A hero in the half shirt.
So I had to
He's a hero in the half shirt. I like it. How has the process been for you overall?
It's been hectic. It's been a very long process, but I'm glad it's finally coming to an end.
What do your folks say? What do you guys think? What do you think? Having a good time with it?
Yes, definitely.
Now tell my viewers about the whole name thing.
Oh, that's Ezekiel's hang-up. He always is like, there's 2 L's and 2 T's. That happens a lot.
Okay.
But she showed me on his headshot. They had it right on the headshot. They look at it right there. Just whoever made that sign with the T on it. You're welcome.
Okay, so that is my first interview with Ezekiel Elliott, and this is the second one right here. And so, yeah, that half shirt thing, I was like, I don't know about that, all right? Here is, because the NFL draft, you basically get 2 bites at the apple. You get the red carpet, and then you get the interview room. So this is the interview room part. Right here. Oh, by the way, tomorrow's Halloween. Where's John Marks when you... There's John Marks! I was like, where's John Marks when you need him? There's John Marks. Hold on a second, all right? Let's skip the ad here. Here's Ezekiel Elliott. There, all right there.
Congratulations. What does it feel like to be a Dallas Cowboy?
I got to make my college decision.
What makes you the best need and the best player available to the Dallas Cowboys?
Say it again, I'm sorry.
What makes you the best need and the best player available for the Dallas Cowboys to take?
I think because I'm a versatile player, I'm a 3-down back. I'm a guy that values running the ball more than blocking more than anything. And I think I'm a guy that runs well in between tackles. I can run well outside of tackles. And I'm a threat in the passing game also.
Hey, who'd you talk to on the phone? Was it Jerry Jones?
I talked to Jerry Jones.
What did he say?
I talked to Coach Garrett. Coach Jones is just like, you're going to be accountable. We're excited for you to come down.
Why did you want to go to the Cowboys so much?
I just feel like it kind of was the best situation for myself, with that great offensive line and three superstars in Tony Romo and Jason Witten and Dez Bryant. I'm ready to go play behind that line and learn from those guys that are vets.
Zeke, have you talked to Tony Romo yet?
I have not.
Well, you had 3 guys from your school go in the top 10. When you heard that, how did that strike you? And what does it mean to you all as a group?
That's what is expected from Ohio State University. That's why we all went to the Ohio State University, because we know that we were prepared to go and play at the next level.
Oh, my slowly here too.
Zeke, a bold move with the crop top on the red carpet, and talk about that, and then you decided to go conventional.
I wanted to be a little bit different. I wanted to be different than everyone else, and so I had to, known as the hero in the half shirt, so I had to go on the red carpet with the crop top.
Zeke, the Cowboys have a long history of great running backs. Can you talk about how you're going to go about carving out your own legacy and not being in the shadow of some of the greats like Emmett?
Every day when I go into practice, I'm going to work and hire those guys to uphold that tradition of that running back run. I'm not going to let anyone down.
Have you thought about what number you're going to take? Because you can't wear 15 at running back.
I'm wearing 21.
21?
Zeke, you put up the OHIO on the stage there. What made you do that? What has Ohio State meant?
You got to remember where you came from, and you see that we got 5 guys here, and that just speaks for itself that Ohio State it grooms its players to play on the next level, and Ohio State's meant so much to me, and I've had so many special memories there in the past 3 years, and I've grown to love that state.
Why the number 21?
No specific reason. Honestly, I haven't even been looking at my phone. I've been too busy running around doing media.
Well, so you get the idea. That's Ezekiel Elliott. You can watch the rest of my interview with him. Zenny62. Just go there and type Ezekiel Elliott, and you can, get that. Hear the rest of it. But I just wanted to give you a taste of what he's like, and then get your view. And so, hey, John Marks, by the way, special announcement, is going to guest host Creature Features. You're going to guest host Creature Features? That's great. Okay, that's fantastic. So, that's fantastic. Oh, I think, right? But I'm glad you're here. Happy Halloween, everybody. Happy Halloween. And I agree with Rick Rice. Rick Rice says he's young, and he's got the Dumb and Dumber tuxedo. But I think he just wants, hi, Sean Grogan. I think he just wants to, he wants to stand out, gain attention. And I think right there in that little subset of him, we see part of what the issue may be, okay? And once he grows up and he's more mature, he won't wear the bright blue suit. He won't be the hero in the half shirt thing. He'll just have a, not have this bow tie. He'll just have a nice, basically well-tailored Hart Schaffner and Mark suit, or Men's Warehouse with Bruno Mali loafers. Yes, I did say Bruno Mali. Loafers, and that sort of thing, all right? Hey, good night, Barry Lee. It's nice to see you, okay? So, but what I'm getting at is he, as we've seen, he just needs to grow up, that's all. He really does. Now, I wonder about him beating this indictment, and I think it's going to go on repeal. All right, I think it's going to go on appeal. And so anyway, Richard Stewart says, honestly, I can't get a read on the guy. I don't believe I'm making accusations on someone I don't know. And Richard Stewart, I think that's the smartest comment of the night. I've interviewed a lot of NFL athletes, particularly coming out of the NFL draft since 2005. That includes Alex Smith. That includes Aaron Rodgers. That includes Matt Stafford. That includes Andrew Luck. That includes RG3. They're all here on Zenny62. I should make a montage of all the players, quarterbacks I've interviewed, Reggie Bush, Matt Leinart, and hey, thank you for the sub, Cameron. And I say all that to say this. After a while, you can tell who a real grown man is like that. Like, for example, Matt Ryan comes out, nice suit, says yes sir, no sir, handles it like he's doing business, like he's been there before. For all the criticism that he got, Jamarcus Russell really handled his press conference extremely well. He acted like he wasn't nervous. He was comfortable. He was obviously a big man, but he carried himself like a big man. And RG3, you know, RG3 was a bit of a smart aleck. I mean, I'm not saying that to be derisive, even though it sounds like I may be, but he had that little smart aleck about him. And I can see where someone who isn't ready for his kind of smart aleck intellect, which I love, would get, if you're not used to a black person, I'm saying this straight out, if you're not used to a black man with that kind of wit and rhetoric at that age, and you're in a position of authority, you can misread RG3 like that. And I believe that's what Mark Shanahan did, okay? So, I'm just saying, all right? But my point is, you can see the contrast between Andrew Luck and RG3, who were basically at NFL Play 660, but they both have playful intellects. But Andrew Luck is more like, he's more cool about it, whereas RG3 was a little nervous. You can tell he was a little nervous. And Andrew Luck knows what the right thing to say at the right time. For example, because he's Stanford and I'm Cal, I had been needling him about the whole Stanford Cal thing, and you know, the fact that we beat him. Okay, so so I said to Luck, I said, so what are you going to miss most about school? And he looks at the camera and me and he goes, beating Cal, how's that? You know, it was pretty funny. Okay, and David says, pretty informative your show. Thank you, I appreciate that. Thank you, yeah, much appreciated. All right, much appreciated. And Cameron Frazier says, will you live stream the World Series Game 6? I will do one. Yes, I will do one. Yep, we will have it tomorrow. I have to shift because my special guest this week is a man by the name of Alan Jones. Alan Jones has gotten enough signatures on the ballot in San Francisco to qualify an initiative that, if passed, will basically say that the Warriors are not welcome in San Francisco. Did you hear what I just said? I just said that, okay? I just said that, all right? I sure did. So, that's what, you know, that's going to be the guest tomorrow night, all right? And Jamal, I am behind. I will update the investments among other things. I will. And I need to do that tonight, so I definitely will. And update the investments and move forward from there. Now, I'm tweeting this out. So anyway, and John Mark's Godfather Grizz did not come on tonight. He said Thursday, but he's got, and I believe he's lost, I think what's going on with Grizz is that he lost some time at his regular work by working on the Forever Oakland stuff and is trying to regroup, okay? And so, hey, you know, for the second week in a row, he's had to shift here and there, and that happens, all right? He's got to make money and keep a roof over his head. So anyway, Jorge Hernandez says, go Astros, beat LA. My prediction is that the Dodgers will clobber the Astros tomorrow. The Dodgers will win 6-3, all right? No extra innings. They'll make it a definitive win, and they will lead to Game 7, which will be epic, all right? Epic, epic, epic. So, yeah. Hey, Big Eightful, how you doing? What's going on, man? Well, we were talking about, among other things, the Broncos losing and everything else, all right? So, losing, all right? Hey, okay? So, let's see here. We've got shares and boy, oh boy. What do we have here? We'll go out here and I'm going to do something interesting in terms of well, what I'm doing right now. Okay, Broncos. Boom. All right, all done. Now we've got. I read the NFL transactions. Oh, this is what I was going to do next. AFC West standings. Let's see where we are. AFC West standings. 2017. Bam. Let's see what they are. Okay. Here are the latest updated standings. Welcome to Zenny62 Live. We're talking Broncos losing to the Chiefs, thereby making life a bit tougher for the Raiders. Or is that the case? AFC West standings. Number 1, Chiefs. They are 6-2. Broncos are 3-4. Chargers are 3-5, and the Raiders are 3-5. So that's where things stand, all right? The Broncos are still in second. And basically in terms of the points, the home, the Chiefs are 3-1 at home. The Broncos are 3-1 at home. The Chargers are 1-3 at home. And the Raiders are 2-2 at home. Interesting. Now away, the Raiders are 1-3. Eee. So the Raiders clearly have the Raiders are clearly not road warriors. All right. They have a 1-game losing streak, as do the Chargers. The Broncos have a 3-game losing streak. So, you know how this looks? The Raiders could very well overtake the Broncos. Now, we have to look at where the AFC West sits in terms of the overall American Football Conference picture, because there's no guarantee that the AFC West will get that wild card berth. All right, because of these records. Unless we turn around and look at what's going on, all right? So we've got the AFC East. The New England Patriots are 6-2. The Buffalo Bills are 5-2. Danger. The Miami Dolphins are 4-3. The New York Jets are 3-5. So you're not going to pull, all right? So that's that. The Steelers are 6-2. The Ravens are 4-4. The Bengals are 3-4. The Browns are 0-8. How about those Cleveland Browns, man? Woo, El Stinko! Tennessee Titans are 4-3, tied with the Jacksonville Jaguars. Houston Texans are 3-4. You know, the Texans are dangerous. Deshaun Watson makes them dangerous. The Indianapolis Colts are 2-6. The Kansas City Chiefs, as we know, are 6-2. The Denver Broncos are 3-4. The LA Chargers are 3-5, and the Raiders are 3-5, as I mentioned. So right now, it doesn't look good for anybody, because you've got the East, all right? And you've got to hope, okay, you've got the East with the Patriots and the Bills and the Steelers and the Ravens, all right? And then the Bengals are 3-4. The Tennessee Titans are at 4-3. So there's good news, bad news here. The bad news is you have the Chiefs, the Steelers, and the Patriots all have legitimately great records, all right? That's the bad news. The good news is only 3 of them out of 4 divisions. So this is still a mix. This is still a fluid race. Anything can happen. So let's take a look at the Raiders' schedule and make a prediction, all right? So you've got schedule. Marshawn Lynch is reinstated. And guess what? Guess what, all right? The games that we are going next are Miami. Where's Octavio when you need him? Miami on Sunday, November 5th, 8:30 p.m. NBC. All right, there are tickets available. So that's New England. As after that, so let's say the way the Dolphins have been playing. Here's the problem though: it's on the road, and as you've seen, the Raiders have not been road warriors. So this is a must-need win. If the Raiders can't win this one, then our trend of basically kissing the season goodbye continues, because, look, the Raiders are 1-3 on the road. This is a road game. The Dolphins did not play well. They got blasted by the Ravens, all right? But they're at home because they got blasted by the Ravens away. The Dolphins, which begs the question, what is the Dolphins' home record? And the Dolphins' home record right now is, let's see here. Not posted. Not where you want it to be. Yeah, schedule. Okay. They're 4-3, third in AFC East, as I said. And so let's see here. They won at Los Angeles. They lost on the road. Another loss at home. A win at home. Another win away. Another win at home. And Baltimore, they got clobbered. So if you look at their away games, basically they're about even. Yeah. A win, a loss, a win, and a loss. So they're, it's a coin flip with them. Whereas the Raiders are more than likely to lose on the road than anything else. So, but we get Marshawn Lynch back, okay? So what that adds up to is, since the Dolphins are not powerful at home, or on the road, they've won at home, and lost at home, okay? So their home record's a little better than their road record, all right? So basically, it still doesn't look good for the Raiders, but we get Lynch back. That's how that's where that looks. But again, the Raiders' home record is much better. Well, it's 2-2 at home, but on the road they're 1-3. We're 1-3. All right. So now we've got, Corvette says KC 6-2. That's right. Hey, Karen Christensen, how are you? And Dark Mex Attack says, if Raiders can beat the Patriots, we have a chance. But here's the thing: don't overlook the Dolphins. We have to beat the Dolphins first. The Dolphins game is as important. Well, they're all important, okay? But if you want to start off a run, you got to beat the team that you have the best chance of beating, and you really, arguably, after they got stomped, should beat. And that's, even, I don't care what your away record is, you got to stomp the Dolphins. You got your guy back, and we've got Marshawn Lynch back. Dolphins are right to be stomped. They don't even have Jay Cutler, quarterback. We had Matt Moore. And so let me see if the Dolphins are set to. Let me see what their quarterback situation is, because they had Moore come in. He threw a couple of pick sixes, right? So let's see what their quarterback situation is. Let's see what the news is about their quarterback condition as a whole going into this contest, all right? We've got, let's see, stats, rosters, injuries. Ravens overcome Flacco's injury. Twitch, do I hear Rick Rice chiming in about Joe Flacco? No, I don't. Let's see here. I think Rick Rice got mad at me. No, he shouldn't have. I asked him a great question. He's like, he came up with a fantastic response. So anyway, all right, we've got injuries. Byron Maxwell, cornerback, limited participation in practice. Xavier Howard, Jake Cutler, ribs. So Cutler's got a problem there. And we've got Parker, wide receiver, ankle, questionable. Cutler's out, right? We know that. And so let me see what the other Dolphins QB situation is. Miami Dolphins. Let's see what the news is here. QBs. Dolphins Tannenbaum optimistic, says reinforcements are on the way. And this is the most. They are doing what the Miami Dolphins are doing as the NFL trade deadline nears. And they're active in the trade talks. The deadline looms Tuesday at 4 p.m. This is 12 hours ago. Okay. So this is called Armando Seguero. And he says, sources do not wish to discuss specifics of what the Dolphins are doing, other than to say, and this is from the Miami Herald, the team is willing to be both a seller and a buyer, both willing to add players on its roster, and they're focused on the offense. So they say they maintain a 4-3 record, although the better than the record they had 7 games last year when they went to the playoffs. Interesting, quite interesting. Another source told Armando that it was unlikely the Dolphins will be able to make a deal before Tuesday's deadline because most NFL teams are reluctant to exchange players at this stage in the season. Teams are more willing to exchange draft picks in return for a player or as compensation for a player. But then look what happened in the Niners getting Jimmy Garoppolo, right? And the Texans getting, Texans parting ways with their offensive tackle who wasn't playing anyway, gave him to the Seahawks, all right? So we've got, yeah, so that's the situation. But what I'm interested in terms of the Dolphins is that QB situation because Cutler is out and their quarterback play was atrocious. And, you know, not only that, it wasn't even the greatest when Cutler was playing, all right? And so it says Jay Cutler returns to lead worst offense in football. So guess what, everybody? Jay Cutler is coming back to face the Raiders. You hear that? Jay Cutler will return for Sunday night's game against the Raiders to lead the worst offense in the NFL. All right? Can you say Raider meat? Jay Cutler, this is according to the Sun Sentinel. Jay Cutler will return to the Miami Dolphins starting lineup Sunday night. Sunday night against the Oakland Raiders, according to Coach Adam Gase. Yeah. And, but whether the 11-year quarterback veteran can awake what Gase calls the worst offense in football remains a question, especially considering he might be limited due to a rib injury. Oh, shoot. Oh, man. That means that, you know what? You know what I say? You know, the old Raiders, if they heard that, they would be dipping their, they would be putting on that fake plaster cast and everything, all right? And like Phil Villapiano used to do, dipping that thing in concrete, making it all heavy and everything, so you could like give him a good forearm shiver and all that stuff, and get ready to take him out of the game. You think I'm kidding? I am not kidding. Those are the Raiders of old, all right? so, oh my gosh. And so, well, Karen, we should win, but Cutler coming back means it means basically it means that Cutler coming back means that we see a different set of players in the Dolphins than we did without Cutler because they had a more limited playbook because they didn't have Cutler's knowledge. Now they do, so it makes the offense more dangerous, but he is limited in terms of his ribs. Now, Cameron asked a question, because you interviewed Ezekiel Elliott, do you have close interaction with the Cowboys? I don't normally accept the draft. I could choose to do so if I wanted to get on a plane and focus. Yeah, I could have that. But having said that, what's your question other than that? So, now Rick Rice says, this is interesting. Rick Rice says, hi, Karen. And I say, hi, Karen. And Rick Rice says the Raiders defense made Joe Flacco look like Joe Montana. Ding! He's right. He's absolutely right. And Rick Rice says, never forget. I don't. But is that to say that you believe that the Miami Dolphins having Jay Cutler back will cause Jay Cutler to look like Joe Montana against the Raider defense? You know, I want to disagree with you, but the Raiders defense hasn't given me a reason to do so. Save for Navarro Bowman in that one shining moment of a game against Kansas City when it was his first. And then they had just a lousy game plan. It wasn't that he disappeared. The Raiders had a lousy offensive game plan, which tired out the defense for trying to save their butt for the entire game. And finally, about midway through the third quarter, the defense said, frick it, man, we're tired. And they played like it. So, all right. Dark Mex Attack says, is Obi returning? We need him. No, he's not. Deactivated. Rick Rice says, Raiders will make Jay Cutler look like Joe Flacco. Who look like, okay, well, you do know that Flacco is injured, right? So if the Raiders can make Jay Cutler look like Joe Flacco, and Joe Flacco got injured, then it means that Jay Cutler's going to get injured all over again. Yeah! Well, I didn't mean it like that. I don't want to see the man hurt, but you know what I'm saying. It's, you want to win the game, all right? Okay? I didn't see that Obi is coming back, all right? You saw that. I saw something different. Let me. Oh, they just took him off IR or they put him on? So the report, let me see something here because I read a different report. Let me see here. And I'm happy to be wrong about that, for folks, okay? Raiders, OB, and I think, yeah, okay, returning from knee surgery, that was September 5th, all right? Oh, I see. Okay, he's back. He is back. All right. He's activated him from IR. You got it. So you guys are right. I got the wrong information. And Obi and Gary and Conley practice at Raiders facility. Okay. So what is? That's May 5th. That's old. That's old. All right. Now let me go back to the NFL communications because they had a chart up there that I obviously misread, and so let me go back and sign in and find that, because I showed you guys what that was. NFL transactions. All right. So these are waiver system transactions and assignments, terminations, active list additions. Let's go to Oakland. Those are reserve list additions. Practice squad transactions, contracts terminated by club, other transactions, comments. Okay, we know about the suspension list lifted by Lynch. Deactivations all are 129. Okay, today's what? Today is Tuesday the 31st, all right? So, aha. You know what? This is an old list. This was 10/29. This wasn't today. There you go. All right. All right. So there we go. You know, that was not today. So it's Washington. All right. That was not today. So the transactions, the following NFL transactions from Monday, October 30th, transactions will be published each day after they circulate to NFL clubs. The public version will include waiver requests, assignments via waivers, terminations, free agent signings, reserve lists, and practice squad additions and deletions and trades. It will not include waiver claims, trials, suspensions. Okay. So, let me see where I was wrong here, because I was wrong. And I want to make certain, because this says the 29th. And Oakland. So basically, all right. No, you know what? Dave Emerson, Gary and Conley, Connor Cook, Carl Joseph, Markel Lee, Dave Sharp, and Jillian Ware. Okay, so this is a different list. Obi is not on this list. So there's no, yeah. There's nothing here on that list that mentions Obi, even though he was reactivated, okay? And that was the 30th. See, that sucks. Sometimes these things are, you know, I don't... See, I'm on the NFL list. Let me put it this way. I'm on the NFL website, but I don't get the Raider updates. And I need to get the Raider updates. So the Raider updates commonly differ from what the NFL puts out, and that's why I get tripped up. So my apologies. I'll straighten that out. That's on me, okay? I'll take the hit on that one. Poof! Okay. All right. So, now, moving forward. All right. Now we've got... Hey, Cameron, thank you. Patrick M. Blackman says, we need fresh ideas. Let's see. Rick Rice says, Pagano should be defensive coordinator. Oh, Pusa. No. Rick Rice says, Mike Tice should be offensive coordinator. Double Pusa. Not at all. No. Oh, that's... You're talking about a mid-season? You're talking about for next year? No. Jamal Mills says he helped Cap look like a stud. Who you're talking about? Now, Karen Christian says, I agree with Pagano as our defensive coach. I don't. Mark Davis should bust out the checkbook and play John Gruden whatever he wants to get him back on the Raiders sideline. No. And Rick Rice, you're right. I do got to get the inside scoops, and I'll do better at that. I'll take that hit. Okay, now, no, I'm not for Harbaugh at all. And no. And Rick Rice says both coordinators need to go now. Karen Christian says our defense improved with Pagano. I am not sold on Pagano. And the defense, it wasn't that, okay? I'm not sold on that at all. The person I would love to steal, and I do mean steal, okay? And I do mean steal, okay? I just want to see something here before I find out if he's as available as I think he is, or maybe, all right? Let's see here. I would love to steal this person. I really want Greg Williams for my D coordinator. That's the person I want. He's aggressive, okay? So I would beg, borrow, and steal Greg Williams. That's the person, because he's got a way of motivating his players that I really envy. So Greg Williams, I think, would be outstanding. Also, if Todd Bowles does not survive this whole thing as coach with the Jets head coach, I want Todd Bowles as my defensive coordinator. Todd Bowles is among the best defensive coordinators in the league. So if I can't get Todd Bowles, if I can't get Greg Williams, I'll take Todd Bowles if Todd Bowles gets fired by Woody Johnson, all right? So Patrick likes Rex Ryan. Not. Trump says Lynch does want to get fined. Crawford says Khalil Mack will have 20 sacks with Williams or Bowles. Yeah, exactly. You know, Crawford, I mean, especially with Greg Williams. Yeah, Greg Williams he's a Cleveland. But see, I want to steal Greg Williams. Okay, he's the defensive coordinator in Cleveland. Cleveland's problems are born of a sucky offensive attack. Awful. All right? And so basically, we've got, 831 Scott says, what if Bruce Arians gets fired from Arizona? I like him. I like him too. But to me, Bruce Arians is an offensive coordinator guy. So, hey, there you go. Bruce Arians. Okay, so here's your, okay, so Bruce Arians is offensive coordinator. Todd Bowles is defensive coordinator who, worked for Bruce Arians at one point, right? There it is. I like that. That would be an incredible improvement over what we have right now, okay? Todd Bowles is D coordinator, right? Bruce Arians is offensive coordinator. Del Rio head coach. There you go, all right? I like that. I like that. That would be really cool, all right? So, Jordan Littlefield says Arians is going to retire. I'll check on that. Mike Medrano says the Bills game really came down to a handful of plays. Those 4 turnovers, ridiculous. Yeah. You can't win like that. Cause CSU Ram says, hey, well, okay, whatever. Karen Christian says, I hope we can keep a Sue off Carr. The way to do that, Karen, is by a steady diet of short passes and play action. If we're going to throw deep against the Dolphins, it has to be off play action. The problem is we don't play action a lot. And it's something I was talking to Russell Rivera about when we were at the game. We were just begging the Raiders to go play action. And we got our flea flicker. But the Raiders don't play enough run-type formations that force the thought of a play action to really be effective at it. How many times have I said we need an I formation attack to get Marshawn better into the game? We don't have that. You can build your play action off that, okay? Rick Rice, Karen Christian says, got that one. Rick Rice says, the only chance we have to take cheap shots at the opposing... This is cheap. Rick Rice is advocating cheap shots at the opposing quarterback's knees. Of course, that means a flag, right? Let's see here. I am here. Richard Stewart says the Warriors just beat the Clippers 141 to 113. That score looks like the Warriors of old, like last year. maybe whatever's going on with them, they finally have gotten their groove back and you know, and beat the Whippers. Yeah, I did say the Whippers, Los Angeles Whippers, you know. So Jamal Miller says, finally Warriors win. Ding! And Dave Compton says, do you think, let's see here. Do you think they'll start using Marshawn Lynch more the rest of the season? They should, because he's not getting enough touches. 12 to 13 a game is not great. Crawford says that the Warriors still own the Whippers. Trump says, do you know about Southern Illinois? I don't know about what he's talking about. And Rick Rice says that score looks like a Raiders score. It looks like an old Warriors score, like last year. Karen Christensen says Lynch did a good job on the play action plays we did recently. Yeah, we didn't call much of them. No I formation. Patrick M. Blackman says Todd Downing doesn't know what to do with Amari Cooper. Well, I don't know about that. He knew what to do with him against Kansas City. He just didn't feature him in there. I think there it is. Against Kansas City, when our backs were against the wall, Cooper got featured. Against the Bills, not at all. And Rick Rice says there's no way they're keeping Lynch next year. He's gone. Trump says, I don't understand that comment. Christensen says we need to cover gaps to let Lynch through. Actually, Karen, what you mean is we need to open gaps to let him through. Yeah. Rick Rice says Carr took over the game against Kansas City. Well, he had the right game plan to do it. Hey, game plan means everything. When you're spreading out 4 or 5 wide, you're taking advantage of spacing in the defense, and you've got just enough time to throw, okay? Dank Mex Attack says Lynch trucks for game-winning touchdown. Big April says better offensive coordinator Lynch will ball. He's coming back. In other words, Big April is saying if the Raiders had an offensive coordinator like a Bruce Arians, Lynch would do better. He would ball out, as they say, okay? That's what he's saying. That's what he's saying. I get that one, all right? I get that one. I get that one. Folks, it is 12:55. I'm going to stop at 10 after 1. I'm gone since... I'm gone for what? 77 minutes and 25. Is that right? I actually lost track of how much I was talking. And I love talking, okay? This is great. Somebody's got a Monday Night Football, Broncos, Chiefs, Warriors, Clippers, and Kings, Blues live stream. Another one has a live stream with NFL analysis, Broncos and Chiefs, Week 8. Okay. Interesting. So you've got these live streams around, all right? So we've got Jordan Littlefield. What do you think about Jimmy Garoppolo of the 49ers? I'll tell you what I think. I feel sorry for Jimmy. Jimmy's going into a different system, and they expect him to make the plays that C.J. Beathard didn't make, and that's not the problem. The problem is the coaching and the scheme. That's the problem, and so it's predictable. David Compton says, will the O-line come alive like last year? Not with these bad game plans, no. Gordon Littlefield says his career is ruined. Rick Rice, however, likes Garoppolo's eyebrows. Jamal Miller says, which coaches do you believe are on the hot seat? Well, first of all, let's go through the standings, and because you have to look at the standings to really answer that question. All right, so let's look through the standings right now. Okay, so we can just say that first of all, it's hard for me, even though the Bengals are 3-4, to say that Marvin Lewis is on the hot seat, because my sense is that Mike Brown and the Brown family really like Marvin. He's popular in the community, and they're willing to give him a pass this year. I would be very surprised if Lewis got fired, even if the Bengals did not somehow make the playoffs, okay? So you have to put Marvin Lewis as an asterisk, but I would say an asterisk in green rather than red. Green is your asterisk, which means you're being looked at because you've been there for so long, but then you're so popular that we expect you to stay and be given another chance, all right? On the other hand, Hugh Jackson, my friend, didn't win a game last year, hasn't won a game this year. I mean, whew, okay, that hot seat is red hot, okay? That hot seat is red hot, all right? It just is, okay? So you've got, going down the line, Indianapolis Colts. Chuck Strong used to be, but no, he's, I don't care, luck or no, with that kind of talent, you should be getting more than what you're getting out of the Colts personnel. That defense is not well coached. They make poor position decisions because they're taught in such a way that doesn't work for them. I've seen them give up 3rd and 16 runs and 3rd and long runs with a bit more consistency than I would like. The Colts need a wholesale change, so I would say that seat's really hot. You've got, I'm not ready to call it for the Raiders. You can't do that considering Del Rio's success last year. This year is not over, obviously. We've got, yeah, so, you know, of course, the Broncos and the Chargers both have new head coaches, right? In terms of the NFC East, you know, Jay Gruden's on the hot seat. Jay Gruden's been there a while, and so now it's time to start saying, hey, look, can we do better someplace else? Jay Gruden's on the hot seat. New York Giants with McAdoo, definite hot seat. Very disappointing year. Very disappointing year. You got Chicago Bears with John Fox. I'm surprised John Fox hung on. That's another hot seat right there. Definite hot seat. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I'm sorry. The Buccaneers have too much talent to be 2-5, and Dirk Koetter should be ashamed of himself for the type of game plans he's putting on the field. And I like Dirk Koetter a lot as a person, but I'm just calling it a business decision. Dirk Kotter's definitely on the hot seat, and he's not getting the most out of his players, and that's an understatement to say the least. The 49ers under Kyle Shanahan, they just got Kyle, he's 0-8. The Cardinals under Bruce Arians, too popular a guy. You know, they've had a lot of run of bad luck there. They really have. And yeah, so those are the coaches that are on hot seat, as I see it. Okay. So Richard Stewart says Jim Caldwell in Detroit, but I'm not ready to call it for Caldwell. And the reason I'm not is I am of the opinion that if you start looking at that division, they are still at a place, you know, talking about the NFC North, where they can emerge and play better. They are 1-3 on the road. Excuse me, at home. They are 2-1 on the road. So the Vikings are 6-2. The Packers are 4-3. The Packers are 4-3. They're on a 3-game losing streak, as are the Lions. The Bears are 1-game losing streak. The one that they won before, they were lucky to win. So that division is still in flux. So I'm not ready to call it for the Lions just yet. I would say that given, in fact, let me see something here. Given between Jim Caldwell and John Fox, I would say that John Fox's seat is hotter than Caldwell's, okay? In fact, Jim Caldwell right now, he is, yeah, I know people are upset about that red zone, but see, the Detroit Free Press is not a Caldwell fan. And let's compare. We've got Jim Caldwell. Let's see what the press in Detroit is saying about this. I'm glad you brought this up, all right? And Henry says, Henry Flores, hey, Henry, how you doing? He says, Zinni, what's going on with the Texans and their owner? Bob McNair is a better person than the press. He made a mistake. Bob knows it. Rick Rice says, Andy Reid is a creative genius. He is. Now, oh, go Raiders. I'll see you. Sorry, I missed. See you, go Raiders. Now, getting back to Jim Caldwell versus John Fox, all right? John Fox John Fox, they basically mortgaged the store for Mitch Trubisky. And I just thought that was like, come on, you know? Bears coach John Fox says Zach Miller's in good condition, spirits. Okay. John Fox talks getting pedicures. That's the lead story about John Fox, all right? That's the lead story about John Fox. So basically, you know what? This is ridiculous. The Chicago media is giving John Fox a pass for this sucky record. I mean, seriously? And as is pointed out here by NBC Chicago as of October 1st, John Fox headed for Bears record books for the wrong reasons. Okay? So how come John Fox is not on the hot seat and Jim Caldwell is? All right? I mean, they're giving him, in his Bears career, he's a 10-26 record. He has a .278 winning percentage. This is perilously close to the worst winning percentage of any coach in Chicago Bears history, trailing only Abe Gibron. Oh, God, I remember Abe Gibron. Oh, that was from 1972 to 1974. That was when we lived in Chicago. I was like, oh, the Bears, you know, that was bad, okay? And it said that in order to avoid surpassing or falling behind Abe Gibron's record, Fox's Bears would need to win at least 3 of their final 12 games this season, which would put him at a .271 winning percentage of his career. But, okay, that's where he is, John Fox. Now, if we take a look at Jim Caldwell, all right, what we find is Jim Caldwell record is this, all right? Jim Caldwell record is with the Lions, okay, is, let's see, Detroit Lions overall, let's see here, with Detroit, he is 55, he is 55 games, he's 30, 25, he has a .545 winning percentage, all right? With Indy, he has a .542 winning percentage. So maybe you're not jazzed about Jim Caldwell, but the one thing that you can be certain of is that Jim Caldwell, as coach, wins more games than he loses. His record proves it. So why is Jim Caldwell on a hot seat and John Fox isn't? Because Caldwell is black and because Caldwell is black and John Fox is white? That's wrong, okay? People are giving John Fox a pass. The highest ranking news story about John Fox, the Chicago Bears head coach, was about his pedicures. Are you kidding me? His pedicures. Yet the highest ranked story about Jim Caldwell wasn't about pedicures. It was about the coaching decision he made the last game. That's wrong, okay? I mean, this is crazy, folks. Top story for Jim Caldwell. Detroit Lions coach Jim Caldwell losing control of himself and players. That's the Detroit Free Press, okay? I mean, okay, this is Carlos Monarez, all right, writing this. Detroit Lions coach Jim Caldwell is losing control of himself and possibly his players who are now getting ejected for fighting and running off the sidelines. So how come we're not hearing stories that Jack Del Rio is losing control of his players after the whole Marshawn Lynch thing, right? Or the whole thing with the offensive line, you know, not blocking for Derek Carr. You see what I'm getting at? This is garbage media. Pisses me off, all right? Bring me Zenny 62. You know, that's what I say, all right? I mean, this is ridiculous. I mean, John Fox, the top news story. Video. John Fox talks getting pedicures. You think I'm kidding? Look at this. I am not freaking kidding. I am really, look at this. See that? Top story. Video. John Fox talks getting pedicures. Bench coach John Fox says Zach Miller in good spirits. All right? He's not out of the woods. All right? Look at that. That's John Fox. But does Caldwell get a pass? No. No. I mean, look at this. All right? All right. There's the contrast. Okay? This is garbage stuff. Sorry, folks. I had to go off on a rant. I'm not sorry about it. I feel good about that. All right, what's going on? John Marks says Harry had to leave. Oh no, what happened, John? One of our viewers, John Marks, had to leave for a family emergency. What happened? What happened? All right. Oh boy. Okay. Big April says Jack Del Rio has a winning record right now, if you can believe, 22-18. Rick Rice is quite correct. Racism is a mental illness. Jordan Littlefield says if the Pats win the Super Bowl this year, Belichick and Brady will retire. I am not growing a mustache, Rick Rice. Jordan Littlefield says the Bears just have no good players. No, they have good players, just not being coached well. And I think that's a pass, okay? Dave Common says, great show, Mr. Z. Took time out just to listen. Got to get back to work now. Can't get fired, you know. Good night. David, I'm blessed for your presence. Thank you so very much. Thank you so very much. Rick Rice says, some player on ESPN says our offense is so easy to figure out it's a joke. Ding! I want to find that one. So, I think he's absolutely right. And, yeah, welcome back, John. And, Kevin KD, he says, the Detroit Lions are an easy target to associate with losing, and Jim Caldwell is underappreciated. Yeah, but Caldwell has a better record than John Fox. Doesn't make any sense. And but Kevin KD is right. Rick Rice says, I saw that too. He's doing everything for his reality TV show now. That's why the Raiders should get rid of him. And Jordan Littlefield says, Matt Stafford is the problem for Detroit, not the coach. What about the offensive coordinator, Jim Bob Cooter? Patrick M. Blackman says, Ron Rivera's seat is warm. Yeah, Ron Rivera's seat is warm, but let me see something here. I'm not ready to call that one. Here's the reason why, okay? I'm not even ready to say that at all, because just when you're ready to count the Carolina Panthers out, they do some, you know, crazy things like go on, have their quarterback get pissed off, and then they win. The Carolina Panthers are 5-3. They are basically, you know, tied. They're vying with the Saints for control of the NFC South. So, hot seat? No, not at all. Do I like the way that... Do I think that they should be undefeated? Yes. Yes. But hot seat? No. No hot seat. Not seeing it. No. Okay? Not at all. Not at all. No. And as Big April reminded us, the Panthers are tied for first. Patrick and Blackman says, because of Cam Newton, he's on the hot... Wait. Because of Cam Newton, the Panthers are tied for first. Isaac Rojas says, if the season continues to spiral downward, do you see Jack Del Rio revamping the whole coaching staff? No, I don't. I see Jack Del Rio... I don't see him revamping the coaching staff unless he's told to. He would quit before he did that. He makes some changes, but I think that if you I think he'll make adjustments, all right? But Jack Del Rio making wholesale changes, no. I mean, because the question is, who would, given that he wants to maintain the Seattle defensive design, why get rid of Ken Norton Jr., who you taught? The question is, how do you change the way you're coached? You know what? In fact, I think he would make a change to get rid of some of the other lesser people before he would give out Norton as defensive coordinator, straight out. But it would be design that they changed, not scheme. I don't see Del Rio doing that. Also, it's a matter of, you know, something that I think is very important to learn in this life is book knowledge is not people knowledge. And a person like a Ken Norton or whoever may not to you be the best D coordinator, but if he has command, and he does, of the players in the locker room and they play for him, which they do, and that's all that matters. You have to remember something. The Raiders' defense has not absolutely collapsed. It hasn't. In fact, let's see NFL season standings. Let's see here with the Raiders. That's Game Pass. Interesting.
Lucky for them.
Excuse me.
Wait, there's a...
Wasn't what I was looking for. What I was looking for was schedule standings. Oakland. All right. For some reason, it's not giving me what I want. Give me what I want. Give me what I want. Ah, there it is. Okay. The Raiders, in terms of offensive yards, they're 20th ranked offense. Okay. Passing yards, they're 18th. Rush yards, the Raiders' problem is their rushing yards. They're ranked 28th in the league. So the real problem, yeah, they're ranked 28th in the league. All right. So that's the problem. On defense, let's see here. The running game is really the problem. Yeah. And we're really suffering there. And the better running game we have, the better defense we can have. That's just the way that works. All right. So, and that's just the way that works. Now, we're not, some particular reason here, try something here. 17, team stats, NFL, right there. Okay, league leaders, offense, New England Patriots, number 1, Kansas City Chiefs, number 2. It's the regular season, New Orleans Saints, number 3. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, number 4, offensively. So, as we know, the Bucs have a defense problem, okay? League leaders on defense, the Denver Broncos, number 1, which gives them a shot, okay? Carolina Panthers, number 2. Vikings, number 3. Pittsburgh Steelers, number 4. And Cincinnati Bengals, number 5, all right? So, in terms of passing, in fact, let me maybe distill this to the fact that the Raiders don't really have a good look in terms of being on top of anything, unlike last year. Okay, so now, statistics, all NFL, Oakland Raiders are 25th defensively. So we're ahead of the Jets, the Giants, the Niners, the Buccaneers, the Chiefs, the Colts, which are at 31st, and guess who's at the bottom? The New England Patriots are the bottom defensively. So you have, Patriots have a great offense, but a bad defense. And that's a recipe for what? Losing in the playoffs. So you can scratch the Patriots off as your Super Bowl champion. It ain't happening. I'm sorry, it is not happening. Because their defense sucks, okay? Now who's in the better position? Well, look, the Broncos are number 1. And I've said the other day the Panthers are the team to beat. Look at their defense is number 2, all right? Their defense is number 2. But my point is that the Raiders are at 25. And they're just ahead of the Arizona Cardinals. So they're not at the bottom, but they're in the lower tier, but not at the bottom. Now, offensively, let's see, that's defense, all NFL. Offense, all NFL is, let's see, offense, all NFL, the Raiders. I have a feeling, I think I know what I'm going to find here. Come on. Give me my page. Yeah, it's not forming. That is a web problem with the NFL. Okay, let's try this. All NFL offense category. Wait a minute, that's defense. Where's offense? Okay, here's offense. Here's the complete list. The Patriots are number 1. Chiefs are number 2. Saints are number 3. This is on offense. The Buccaneers are number 4. Falcons are number 5. Where are the Raiders? The Raiders are number 20. So we're 20th ranked offense, 25th on defense. So we're not really good either way. But my point is that if we can improve the running game, the defense will get better and the offensive ranking will improve as well. So the Dolphins, this is good news because they're our next opponent, except that Jay Cutler's coming back. The Dolphins have the worst offense in the NFL. So head coach Adam Gase was telling the truth. So there you go, folks. Rick Rice has a comment. Rick Rice says, hey, Isaac Rosas is here. Says, Raiders are the worst organization in the history of the world. Nah, I don't know about that. I think Idi Amin Dada ran the worst organization in the world. Karen Christian says, Matt Patricia is a good defensive coach. He can't be that good considering that defense is ranked as rock bottom. Big Eightful says they were 6-0 last year. Got to blame the OC for the decline. Jamal Miller says, wow, Rick Rice. Joseph Binsman says, evening, folks. How you doing? Or are you leaving? Karen Chris says, I wonder if Eli Manning should go to the Broncos. Now, Rick Rice says the Patriots will get their defense together. I doubt it. Because they have good coaches, I doubt it. Sorry. I'm writing the Patriots off, okay? Sorry, I'm just writing them off. Karen Chris says, we do need help on our secondary. And Rick Rice says the Chiefs can't win a playoff game. Big Apple says, like Dan Marino, never won a Super Bowl. Jordan Littlefield says the Chiefs will lose their first playoff game. God, everybody's down on the Chiefs. No, we need help on offense. I'm sorry. No, we need help on offense. We don't need help on defense. That's a design issue. And it's a design issue. I'm sorry. You got Navarro Bowman coming in. And he's being asked to do certain things that are not effective because their scheme just simply isn't right for what is needed to beat our opponents. We're not Seattle. Okay? We don't have... Well, even then, Seattle's coached differently in terms of technique, okay? So, I mean, their defensive line rushing technique is different. All right, folks, it's 1:20, and I am seriously going to cancel out today. Right now, I am ready to go to bed. Joseph Benjamin says, Chiefs got to get a good win. Broncos are falling off. Jordan Littlefield says, writing the Patriots off is like writing LeBron off from making the finals. I'm writing the Patriots off. I'm not saying they're not going to... Look, when I say write the Patriots off, I mean they're not getting to the Super Bowl. That's what I mean. So when I say I'm writing them off, that's what I mean. They don't have the classic formula that you need to go all the way. Okay? I'm not saying they're not going to be in the playoffs. When I say I'm writing them off, I mean they're not going to repeat as Super Bowl champions. They're not going to get back to the Super Bowl. That is what I am telling you. The Patriots are not getting back to the Super Bowl. You can forget it. You can write it off. You can tell me everything that you think about Belichick being a great coach and all this jazz, but it's not happening, okay? It ain't happening, all right? Sorry. Yeah. Richard Stewart says, Andy is a choke artist. Joseph Bensman says, who is the AFC better than the Pats right now? You're not listening to me. I'm talking about down the road. It ain't happening, okay? It ain't happening, all right? They're not going to the Super Bowl. Forget it. It ain't happening, all right? I mean, something crazy could happen, like they wind up facing the wild card Texans in the playoffs, and Deshaun Watson goes off and has a 5-touchdown day. Ooh, to get revenge for that game that he lost to Tom Brady. Okay? There's my crystal ball. There's my scenario. Deshaun Watson gets revenge against the Pats. Ooh. Yep, could happen, all right? Could happen, okay? Jordan Littlefield says, who beat the Pats in the playoffs? Anybody. Okay? Anybody. It's the playoffs. That time when you pull out that play that you never used except when you noticed that the Patriots were vulnerable to the wheel route out of a 3-wide receiver 3-by-1 formation when the 3-by-1 is called with the 3 wide receivers to the left. And you put the third inside slot person. You bring him over from the weak side to that side, and then you have him run the real route, and he's wide open. The Patriots have only seen that play once the entire frickin' year. Okay? And the irony is that the Patriots actually called that play, which actually works against them. But they called it against the Chiefs. It worked then, too. So I went back and I started looking at the Patriots. I'm like, wait a minute, it works against them, too. Vulnerable. Ew. So my point is this, okay? Or any number of play action fake, first down, throw to the flat. Patriots are always vulnerable with that because they love to play their inside linebackers high and then have them come up for the run. So they're always susceptible to that jazz. I can go on and on and on. I am not a fan of the Pats defense. I'm sorry, I am not. They play it fast and loose, and it's one big reason why they're ranked the way that they are, but they're offset by their offense. And I'm telling you, you do not win Super Bowls that way. So don't tell me about where the Pats are now. It ain't happening down the road. You might as well just eat crow now, cry about it, and whine. It ain't happening. Boy, I'm feeling great tonight. All right. All right. So, okay. Now that I've got everybody sufficiently upset, good. I don't care. I like that. Patrick and Blackman says Eagles versus Steelers in the Super Bowl. Pennsylvania Super Bowl. That is a very real possibility. That's a real possibility. Okay. Yeah. Malcontent asks, any updates on Las Vegas? There is one coming. Stay tuned. That's right. All right. Okay, folks. I am Malcontent. You asked that. I answered that one. Okay. Joseph Binsman says, I definitely don't want them to win, but we'll see. Today was a great day thanks to Mueller. Look forward to reading the paper tomorrow. Like I said, there's more coming. I'll let you know. You want to look. Whew. I'll give you a hint. Donald Trump Jr. Just wait. Donald Trump Jr. Good night, folks. Good night, folks. Good night, folks. Good night, folks. See you tomorrow. World Series. World Series. World Series. Game 6. Good night, everybody. Thank you for stopping by. Love, peace, soul, food. No, you the man, Rick Rice. You the man, Rick Rice. And thank you for the answer to my question regarding, college players and getting out in the NFL and meeting the right women. Thank you. Wax on, wax off. Hey, those shoes belong to Brooke Shields. Just let you know. Good night, everybody. See you guys later. Fun stuff.